Hello, good people of the internet. This is another fluid acrylic paint pour, and this one is going to be a flip cup pour. And I want to tell you some secrets of Floetrol. This is Floetrol, and I'm in Canada, and it was really hard for me to find this. I have a feeling that it has been discontinued, and so I may have found the last bottle of Floetrol. And I've tried many different additives to my paint. If you've watched my videos or others' videos on how to do fluid acrylic paint pouring, a lot of people pour with Floetrol. They mix their paint. I did 50-50, 50% Floetrol and 50% paint. And here's all my colors I'm going to use today in sort of an autumn pour. I'm trying to get some autumn colors going. But I've been looking for this for months, and so I've been trying every other additive I could. And the secret, I'm going to tell you after I finish the painting. There is a really good secret about this. If you can't get it, I have an alternate that is exactly the same because I've tried so many. So here is my cup, and I've already put some white in the bottom of it. And I think I'm going to start with my next latest color. And as you can see, I have canvas that has already been painted on. And this one was done with a puddle pour, and I find these colors here didn't blend as much as I would have liked. And so it's very striking painting, but I'm going to go ahead and paint right over top of it because I can. So what I've done is I put 50% Floetrol and 50% paint, but I also thinned it out even more with some really soapy dishwater. And I've been using a lot more soapy dishwater, like quite a few of these kind of full drops to make my paint runny, kind of runs right off the stick. A little bit thicker than unwhipped whipped cream, as my friend Karen would say. And so I haven't put any black in here yet, so I'm going to do a little bit of that. I have to be careful not to use too much paint because this canvas is not very big and I have a lot of paint in this cup already. What else do I want to put in there? I think that might do it. Maybe a couple more drops of this. Last time I did these colors, I didn't have enough of this color. So let's try that. So the flip cup technique just involves flipping it right upside down like that, and then waiting for all the paint to come out of the cup. I see it flowing down the sides. The white is pretty much stuck in the cup. I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute and just let that settle. Okay, through camera magic, some time has passed and my white seems to be stuck in the top of my cup. So next time I might actually put a little bit of silicone or something to help it spill out better. These cups are really big and it takes a long time for the paint to fall down. So I'm going to just lift it. But because there's so much paint, I think I've got way too much paint. I actually have this other little canvas that I want to finish off this edge in a different way. So I'm just going to put that right beside it and let some of the paint flow onto this canvas too. Here we go. All right, go that way. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful autumn color so far. It's very nice. Very cool. So it's a good idea just to let it spread before I do anything. Just let it spread and see what it does naturally. I do see some air bubbles coming up, so I'm going to torch. So just a reminder, there is no silicone in my pour. but that soapy water is what creates some air pockets and air bubbles, and then when I torch, it pops the air bubbles, and these colors pop through from underneath. It's kind of neat. I kind of wish I hadn't dripped on this part of the canvas. And if I had some water handy and a paper towel, which I do, I could actually just wash that right off before it settles or dries. Yeah, because I actually kind of like this side of the painting. And it was already dry. I did it a few days ago, so I can just wipe it right off. While I'm waiting for the other painting to settle. Like that. So the secret of the Floetrol while we're waiting is that it's basically, I'm pretty sure it's just PV, I think they call it PVA glue. I've poured with white glue before, and this stuff is the consistency of white glue, and it smells exactly like white glue. So if you're in Canada or any other country, or Hawaii, I've heard has a hard time getting Floetrol, I would highly recommend just find PVA glue. I think they call it bookbinder's glue. And I think if I can't find any more Floetrol, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pour with white glue because I tried it in my first few pours and I really, really liked what happened to the paints, but I thought it was maybe a lower level of quality of product, and so I was afraid that it would be a mistake over time. But like I say, everyone is using Floetrol, and it sure seems a heck of a lot like white glue. I think they've just maybe renamed it for the painting community. They've renamed it Floetrol to mix with paint. But I love what is happening on this canvas. This is neat. Very, very cool. And so don't forget, if you want to get it into the edges without tipping very much, you can help it. Kind of break that edge, break the seal, like that with your fingertip. And then you can even, oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, look what happened on the bottom there. You can just pick up some of this and finish. Whoop, that's kind of a dirty. Oh, it's painted underneath there. I'm going to use pure white, I think, to help it cover the edge. While I'm waiting for some of those air bubbles to spread out a bit more. Maybe a clean stick would help. I paint a lot of arbutus trees, and that's where I got these color ideas from. A lot of the bark has like this darker brown, and I guess it's kind of like a rusty color, and some of these lighter colors as highlights. And so I'm kind of trying to pull from my landscape painting colors that I love painting in, and then bringing that into my abstract fluid acrylic paint pouring colors. Okay, this corner needs a bunch. This is such a fun process. I didn't really see myself going in the direction of abstract painting. I tried abstract painting with a brush when I first started painting, and I couldn't, I never knew when I was finished. And I would just paint and paint and paint and paint and never know when to stop, and then I would ruin it. And somehow with acrylic paint pouring, I know when to stop. I know when to stop fiddling. I often like what happens naturally on the canvas. I actually don't like tipping it very much at all. I like to let it do its own thing. And so I'm so loving paint pouring. It is very addictive, and makes me feel like a creator. I wonder what our Heavenly Father feels like when the earth kind of spreads out before his eyes and does its thing that he set it out to do, that he created it to do. I very much feel connected to God, even when I'm doing abstract art. And the reason why I do landscape art is because I'm so encouraged by spending time in creation and, you know, feeling God's generosity through the beauty that he's put on the earth. So now I can really enjoy spending time with him doing abstract art too, which is really fun. So you see how it's shaping up? I'm going to keep tipping it and just a little bit, just really, I'm going to make some really minute little changes, probably with a straw. You can actually take a straw and just blow certain shapes so it's just a tiny bit bigger. And things like that. So I'll probably spend a few minutes doing that, and then I'll show you the final result at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a minute. And before I show you the finished piece, I thought I would show you the landscape painting that I did of an arbutus tree, if you haven't seen one of those before. That's where I got the colors from for this painting. And this is the dry piece, and it turned out really interesting. I like the few cells that did show up, and it turned out to be quite an interesting little piece. It would help my channel be found on YouTube if you hit the like button and subscribe for more fluid acrylic paintings like this, and for more landscape paintings as well. I hope you're inspired to try that yourself, and until next time, have fun painting.